Oh fuck, let's go over some Swedish black metal, shall we? ALGAION, check it out, Vox Clementis. I think Peter Tägtgren played on drums on one of these. Here's an album called, well, whatever, the earlier ALGAION. Allegiance, that's a really killer Swedish black metal. Bloodornsoffer, I mean, I think a lot of people probably have these. Hymn to the Hägglund, that's really cool. Hymns of Blood compilation from Allegiance. And their Vreed album is not bad. Probably they're my least favorite of theirs. Ancient Wisdom. Oh, I love this Ancient Wisdom. It's got some really great instrumental, excellent production. This is The Calling, check it out. It's a blood red CD. I think Ancient Wisdom is really cool. Snow Covered the Northland. Look at that beauty, that beautiful album cover. On MORBID Records is, ARCKANUM. Yeah, this is a really good album too. And then 1994 Trulin. This is one of the most cult demos ever. ARCKANUM Trulin. It's available on cassette tape too, and I'm just so proud to have this CD. It's so cool. There's like owls in the background. ARCKANUM Från Martyr. It's original edition. On Spiritism from ARMAGEDDA with 2 Ds in it. This has got some of the best black metal vocals ever. Really great vocals on Spiritism. Only True Believers is the early, kind of a classic Swedish black metal. And then Armageddon, Final War Approaching. Ashes, The Angels Wept. It's kind of a rarity. AZURE is a rarity too, and it's really good. I think that's cool. Vicious Age for Living. Here's their Moonlight Legend. Looks like this. And then of course Bathory's in my black metal, so I've got Return, and then I've got the first album right there, and then Bestial Mockery, Evoke the Desecrator. Kind of forget what that sounds like. Bewitched, Pentagram Prayer. This is like the ultimate black and rock and roll. I think they kind of started that whole kind of sound. I attribute it to that album. It's a really great album, and probably my favorite Bewitcher for sure. Bewitched, Diabolical Desecration. So that's, same band. And then this BLODSRIT, Supreme Misanthropy. The reissue, the remake of Supreme Misanthropy is really, really good. I got another album called Supreme Misanthropy, the first edition. So both of them are really excellent, underrated, underknown Swedish black metal. BLOTMINE has become more of a gem these days. Porphyrogenesis album, BLOTMINE, speedy black metal drums. And then I think this turned out pretty cool. Born for Burning, The Ritual, very much sounds like Bathory, obviously. Look at that thing. Crimson Moonlight, Eternal Emperor. Love that album art, and the sound is really cool. Dark Funeral, I've got, In the Sign. On Necropolis, you gotta have stuff like that in your collection. The Secrets of the Black Arts. And then their early EP, that's a Swedish black metal classic. Dawn for the Obscure. Called Inversion. This is so cheesy, but I still love it. It's got this super cheesy intro, and I think these guys are geeks, but I still think it's really cool. Diabolicum, that's a really good album called The Grandeur of Hell. DRACUL is actually an old recording that was released recently. So it's older, but it's released after the fact. Cold Grave from DRACUL. That's got some really cool riffs in it. Grief of Emerald. They're a really cool band. I mean, their album covers are cheesy, but they're definitely established and they sound good. I've got their album called Malformed Seed, which is not bad at all. This one's really cool. Grief of Emerald, the Nightspawn album. AETERNUM, The Past and Present Sins. Their In Darkness Came demo. This is CD version of that demo. It's really, really good. And then here is In Darkness Came, the CD edition. In Battle, some of the fastest, blastiest stuff in the history of metal. This is Soul Metamorphosis. And then their classic albums. Right here is the debut. And then they've got the Rage of the Northmen. I love the drums on this. This In Battle, Rage of the Northmen, freaking masterpiece right there. Infernal. Looks like this. This is well-known member Black Moon, who I think died. It's pretty classic stuff here. So here's the digipack. Infernal Gates from the Mist of the Dark Waters. ISHTAR, Diabolical Hymns, is really a masterpiece. Krieg sounds amazing too. The band KATATONIA and their Slimline EP, Dance of December Souls debut full length, freaking kills. And this EP, Alone Meth, this is just amazing. Too bad it's so quiet, but it does sound good. KORP, Thorns of Centuries Unfold. That's an underrated Swedish black metal. Not many people know KORP, and they really should. Here's the Demon Reborn. Look at that masterpiece. Freaking awesome. Lord Belial, Unholy Crusade. Nice speedy black metal stuff. Enter the Moonlight Gate, Swedish masterpiece. Lord Belial, Kiss the Goat. Probably one of the best black metal songs of all time is on here. And that's going to be the track, The Ancient Slumber, from Lord Belial. They're demos, Ancient Demons. I think this compilation version sounded better than the other one that's available. That's the one that really sounds good. The Art of Dying demo and Into the Frozen Shadows demo. Band Marduk, of course, Front Schwein, I got very recently, and it's amazing. Wormwood, great production. It's got a few good, really, really good songs. The rest of the album is not that great. Warshaw, love the new vocalist on Warshaw, and it sounds really good. Plague Angel album, Obedience EP, check it out. It's it's a embossed cover right there. Hearse single, that classic right there. World Funeral album. Why is these out of order? Couldn't tell you. Le Grand Dance Macabre, love it. The short, quick, blast your head off, Panzer Division Marduk. Live in Germania, does sound pretty decent. Here's No Peace. I love the early Marduk. All of this early stuff. Nightwing, these albums are just killer. Another EP edition, Opus Nocturne, one of my favorites. One of the heaviest Swedish black metal ever is Heaven Shall Burn. This thing is so freaking heavy. It's like Deicide Legion, but Swedish black metal version. Those of the Unlight. I think that's a pink cover right there. Those on the Unlight, Osmos Productions. And then we've got debut album called Dark Endless. Looks like this is on Necropolis Records. This is the US edition. And then I've got another edition that looks like this. Freaking Marduk, one of the best Swedish black metal for sure. Maze of Torment, this is pretty good shit. The Force album. And then we've got a CD called Meadow in Silence, Through the Tides of Time and Space. Kind of forget what it sounds like, but obviously it was good enough to keep it in my collection. More Swedish black metal. This one's called MELEK Toss, Expulsion from the Realms of Light. MIDVINTER. I think this is kind of an underrated CD right here. At the Site of the Apocalypse Dragon. MITHOTYN is a really great album called In the Sign of the Ravens. That's a masterpiece in my opinion. MORBID, From the Dark. Bootleg, and the More Mayhem Split is another bootleg. More GRYNING, Tusen or Hargot. Means 1,000 years has gone. Morket, or as a Mörker, M-O-R-K-E-R, Mörker, from Sweden. And then we've got Mortharim. I have to put some links for some of this stuff. Nagelfar, Vitra album, another old Swedish classic. Nastron, Toteslott is, just look at that cover, just absolutely incredible. Necronomicon, Peccatum Mundi, and their earlier album called Realm of Silence. Classic Swedish black metal, Necrophobic. I've got this one, that one, Dark Side album, and then Nefandus, The Night Winds Carried Our Names. Nidin Div 187, Imperium EP, and their other release called Towards Judgment. That's some hateful, sort of blasty stuff. Niflheim, another really great Swedish black metal. Envoy of Lucifer, and their awesome album called Devil's Force, and their early classic material right there. Look at that, just if you open it up, it says fuck off right there. I mean, the type of attitude of some of these characters. Here's a gem right here called Noctis Pandemonic Requiem from Noctis. It's a digipack, and it's just a masterpiece. Beautiful Swedish black metal here. And then this CD is called Non-SERVIAM, Between Light and Darkness. Forgot what that one sounds like. Otig is actually starring Wintersorg, and it's kind of his folky sort of album called Overfard. And then we've got freaking Parnassus in Delorium Gloria. So I can't tell if this is Drum Machine or not, but this is some very artful, speedy stuff. Pest Desecration, some nice in-your-face stuff. Sacramentum, Far Away from the Sun. This is a Swedish gem, and I did have a reissue at one point. It didn't really sound that good, so I finally sought out the ADIPOKER records from France, and it does sound much better, Sacramentum. Sargoth, Late Eden in Ashes. It's actually pretty rare. I mean, people don't know what it is, and never heard of it before, but it's actually pretty good. Saterial, Lady Lust Lilith. Love that album art. And as I recall, it's a good album too. I love this band called Shaitan, the Nemesis album. I particularly like the female vocals on songs like My Isle, and there's another song on here that's got the female vocal. The other album called Berserk 2000, and there's a song called Sad to Say. You know, Shaitan, Sad to Say, Swedish black metal. Really, really good stuff. This Shaitan, Traveling Through Ancient Times. It's pretty much straightforward black metal. It's Ethereal Nord, another classic Swedish stuff. Lords of the Night Realm, I think is their second album actually. And then Siebenbergen, Loria. This is actually surprised me. It was really, really good. And I heard of this band a long time ago, but I finally bought this album. It's really good. And then Snortar, Through Time Behind Light. And also their album, this one here, Red Schluta. Soren, kind of a rare gem right there. I think that one's actually on Extreme Records. Yeah, that one's Skogsgriftens Rika. Svartsin, Black Testament. Yep, I think I need to research that band more, but definitely Black Testament had some cool guitars and vocals on it. Swordmaster, I've got two different editions, Wraths of Time, that cover, and then the one that has this cover here. This is the first one that I had. It's a really cool album, Swedish black metal classic. And then finally we get to The Abyss with Peter Tägtgren and Summon the Beast. And then their other album, this is, you know, look at that cover, kind of unique. The Other Side album. And then I've got The Ancients Rebirth. And The Black, Priest of Satan. That's a Swedish black metal classic right there, Necropolis Records. Probably more difficult to get. I've got a CD of their earlier demo called The Black Blood Demo. And then nice gem right here called The Choir of Vengeance. That's a Swedish black metal gem, pretty underknown. The Darksend Unsunned album. Looks like this, that's on Head Not Found. And then we have the Everdawn, Opera of the Damned. That's a cool album cover. And we have, oh, the Legion. Freaking love Legion, A Bliss to Suffer album. I think I have all their albums. Legion is really awesome. Unseen to Creation. That's like a masterpiece. Awakened Fury EP, and then we go into Throne of Ahaz. On Twilight Enthroned from Throne of Ahaz. And the first album is this one here. It's kind of a classic. Niflheim from Throne of Ahaz. And the Primordial. There's a couple that I didn't like from Primordial, but I do like At the World of the Untrodden Wonder. Tyrfing, Hednaland. Some Swedish Vikings there on the front cover. And then the album Triumphator, Wings of Antichrist. Like this. And we've got a band called this is MEADOW. Looks like that on Invasion Records. Visago, Nights from Hell. That's a nice speedy album. I think it sounds cool. I also like this Vergelmer, Light the Black Flame from Vergelmer. I think that's a cool album. Light the Black Flame. And then Winterland, Welcome My Last Chapter. It's a masterpiece. And Cosmic Genesis from Wintersorg. I love this album. I haven't spun this for a while. Ordemark Sun is just as good too, from Wintersorg. And his earlier stuff is Till Falls. That's some cool early Wintersorg. He's one of my Swedish heroes for sure. And I guess that's all of my. Oh, I got one more. And the last one here is this one from Wintersorg. Probably an early release. That's my Swedish black metal collection. Thanks for watching.